did not want to review this band. So, I know this band. They're relatively new. This is only their second album. I was there for the release of the first album. I was there before the album even came out. I heard the first ever song they did. I was there for when it came out. I heard it. I did kind of like it back then, which I am embarrassed to say that I liked something that crap. And I kept up with it. I downloaded the album. I listened to it a few times. But after, 3 playthroughs, it was stale. There was nothing to kind of keep you invested. All the songs were incredibly straightforward, incredibly simplistic. They have a guitarist who's supposed to be somewhat gifted, yet he plays on less than half the songs doing a solo. The songs can barely reach 5 minutes. I don't think any song actually gets to 5 minutes. It's usually 3-minute songs of just a simple pop song formula. That's all they can give a song. The length of what a pop artist can, because a pop artist can't do anything more. Same thing with this band. You get your intro, your verse, your chorus, the same verse, the exact same chorus. You get a bridge section, and you get a chorus, and it ends. There is nothing progressive about this, nothing symphonic, nothing unique, nothing special, no great showmanship, no vast and intense solos, nothing deep, nothing meaningful. There is nothing to that first album. Now, I kind of knew that this second album was coming out. I kind of did see it in the background. I just kind of was like, well, I don't want this to be in my life or anything to do with me, so I kind of just ignored it. But someone reviewed the album on YouTube, and I watched it. And the guy was saying it's got really intricate structure, and the songs are all very diverse. It's leap and bounds over the first album. The first part of this album is completely different compared to the second half. And the skill, the musicianship, the structure is amazing. It's a fantastic album. And the whole time I'm thinking, what complete and utter shit. This guy is lying through his teeth. He seemed to have actually reviewed the lead singer of the band, so I think he's a fucking fanboy, and he's just supporting because the band has spoken to him, and now he's a little bit love-crazed for the band. Because everything he's saying is a lie. If he heard this album, he wouldn't be able to say that, because everything he's saying is not in this album. There is no intense musicianship. There is no intense structures which keep changing and the song evolves and it's got all these intricate pieces going on and it's super complex. No, you have a verse of chords and then the same verse and choruses which sound like any bloody boy band in like what is so-called metal, but it isn't. It's kind of like pop rock, which this band really is. It's an incredible pop band, this band, for teen girls. It's the perfect style for the band. And I'm not kidding. I mean that as a fact. I am not lying. I'm being 100% honest that I fully believe this band is for young teen girls. Because it is incredibly girly. It's incredibly melodic and cheesy. And with a voice that is so boy band. It is for young women who are all hormonal and they can throw their knickers at this. As for full grown men, which the guy who reviewed this actually was, he's a dad, I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he's throwing his fucking, for some reason, boxers at the people, and I don't know why, and is lying through his teeth because, as I say, there is nothing to this. The majority of this album is not leaps and bounds ahead of the first album. The first album, you had an album that lacked solos, and the solos that actually were only a few seconds in length. Nothing vital, nothing huge, nothing really epic. It didn't really kind of do something where it's like, this guy can kind of rival the other kind of great guitarists that are all out there these days. No, it's just a very typical attempt of a solo when he feels bothered to actually put one in. The vocalist, although he does sound decent, there is so many effects that are in his voice, and it has come from the band which he was in previously, and the guy came from the band Amaranthi. He always has effects on his voice, the exact same effects as well, which makes me think he's trying to cover something up, and he isn't versatile, and he can't be without it, because if you have his voice dry and isolated to just hear exactly what he's capable of, it will fall flat. I've never heard this guy sing without effects. He always has effects. He's never done it bone dry. So I think he's hiding something, which shows to me the signs of a bad singer who's using a shit ton of auto-tune and effects in order to try and get a decent voice. If you shove as much fucking effects and auto-tune in as you can, anyone can bloody sing, for crying out loud. As for the structure of the old songs, as I said, most of the songs were around 3 bloody minutes. You just get your intro, which was bare bone basics. You got your verses, which were incredibly basic. Something like Nickelback. Actually, no, Nickelback are way heavier than this band. This band's pop. Nickelback, so this is death metal. It's really, really girly. It's a pop band that just has, guitars in it and the odd solo. Other than that, this could be Justin Bieber for all I know. It is so similar. The only difference is basically there are more instruments. If you were to take a Justin Bieber song and put the guitar stuff in, and then your drums and your bass and, all of that stuff, and then use the kind of gain that this band uses, and effects and everything, and same guitars, there's not going to be much really different. It would just fit Justin Bieber's singing style, his song structure, and the way he presents. It would be exactly the same, just if a band actually backed the guy up instead of just a drum machine or something. So this album, it lasts, I think, 47 bloody minutes or something. But there's a shit ton of tracks. Like, how many tracks are there? It's ridiculous. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And you get around 47 minutes. That's a shit ton of tracks to only make it to about 47 minutes, if not the low 50s. I listen to bands that have 8 tracks and they're doing about an hour and 15 minutes with 8 fucking tracks. This is 18 and it's nowhere close to that. It is embarrassing how pathetic this is. So you've got 18 tracks. That is the exact same fucking thing over and over and over again. I was skipping through this complete gob shit of a fucking album. I was just skipping the bloody tracks and I was getting so fed up. All I was doing was skipping, so it didn't take long for me to get it felt like an eternity. But all the songs just blended together. You could take any verse or any chorus of the song and then put it with a different verse or a different chorus from any fucking song and it would fit perfectly together. Because it's always the same. The choruses always have this exact same style, the way they present itself. With this kind of pop rock anthem style of just being really big and open and catchy and you can sing along and it's like, can't you do anything which is a bit more intense or maybe symphonic or maybe kind of aggressive or kind of dark in nature? No, it always has to be the kind of same thing. As it needs to be something that when we play it, girls can sing along and, fall in love with, the lead singer and he's dreamy and, all that gob shit. Fucking shit all over the place. As for the solos, how much better do they get? There's still barely fucking any. So the majority of the album, you're getting the basic bone structure of a pop song with no fucking leads whatsoever. But you do get the odd track which will have leads through the song, which is decent. It adds a bit of heft to the song and a bit more life injected in, because they really do need a fucking life preserve at this rate. So after a chorus or before a chorus, you may get the odd kind of lead. The first track of the second track has a solo, and dear Christ, it starts and then it just ends, and it's like it didn't even begin. I don't know if it was a solo. So I'm now putting all my brain power, because the album doesn't need any kind of real thinking, because it's simple. You don't need to give it your time to understand. So my entire focus was just going in to, was that a solo, yes or no? While I'm on track 8. And I'm still trying to figure out if that was a fucking solo. I still don't have a fucking clue if that is what you could actually call an actual fucking solo. Another solo. Again, I don't know if this is a fucking solo. It is so pathetic. It's like, I don't know if this is classed as a fucking interlude, maybe. You know, it's in the bridge section, and it's like, it's a lead tone, but then the singer just jumps back in. So maybe it's just an interlude to close the bridge and the chorus back together, just close the gap, because they didn't know any other way to get it there. I think that was it, because it's not an attempt of a solo. There's nothing there to it. There's the odd occasion where, and I'm not just going to be like completely opinionated, just because I hate the band. There's the odd solos in the album, which is like, this actually isn't bad. There's one track, I don't know which one it is, but there is one track which has a solo. And it's like, this actually sounds really good. I'm looking forward to where this goes. But as typical of what this band is, it ends abruptly. And it's just like, that was really, really stupid, guys. That solo sounded like it could have been something. But you didn't give it the time it deserved. And you killed it. It is incredibly thick. You get a fuck ton of ballads in the album, obviously, because you have to appeal to the teen audience of women. So there's a fuck ton of ballads in this. Nothing really gets heavy. There's no heavy metal in this at all. There's no real heavy track. The heaviest they get isn't really heavy. It's still very, very pop. There's like one track that has a pre-chorus where it's like they actually get rid of the pop element, and it's like, okay, this now sounds more like what you could argue of hard rock. But all it is the pre-chorus. So I've got one track that is like 3-4 bloody minutes, and for the odd few seconds before the chorus kicks in, I've actually got a hard rock element instead of a pop album. And it's like, an album of 18 tracks, and I have 3 seconds of something which is actually not half bad. And I still wouldn't really give it that credit. It's just, it is a damn sight better than the bullshit that's actually on the album. Fucking mate. Again, that one solo, which sounded like it could have actually made something of itself, and they fell through with it, which was really thick, but I expect nothing less from this band. Vocally, the guy's still using a shit ton of fucking effects, and auto-tune, because he can't sing in tune or key, so it sounds good, but it's not real, so you can take that how you want. If it's just like, well, I don't care if he can or not, it's just if I hear a good voice, then fair enough. And if that's the case, then the guy does actually sound really good. He really has a good voice. Well, the computer does, I guess. So the computer and the digital programming really has a great voice. Like, hats off to Microsoft. They sound great. What else? The last 3 tracks are just acoustic tracks of tracks that have been in the album. So you actually lose the so-called fucking heavy metal aspect. and just get the acoustic stuff, which of course you do, because it's a pop band that is appealing to the teen women. So you need to get your turtlenecks out, sit on your stool with darkness around you, the blue stream of light coming down, just get your acoustic out and just cry about just how depressed you are, and you need that loving hand, which will be these teen girls. They will give you a hug because you are in so much pain. And oh my god, it really brings a tear to my goddamn fucking eye. This band is atrocious. There is no evolution from this album, from their fucking previous album. There is nothing new. Their song structures have not increased. They have not brought in anything new or unique. It is incredibly simplistic. It is like any fucking shit pop band that is trying to attempt to be fucking metal, yet they're fucking boy bands who don't have a clue how to be metal or nor hard rock, but think that they fucking are because they don't have a clue what they're talking about because they're not true fucking musicians. So you can't take them literally because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. The singer is not a real fucking singer. It is computer fucking programming. The guitarist, he is said to be good. What would he fucking do? Fine, he is good. But I can't say he is always good when he's presenting crap. Tremonti is said to be a great guitarist, and you know what? He is to a degree, but for the most of the time, I don't think he really shows it. And this guy, he may be great. He may have a fuck ton of talent, but with this and the previous album, he doesn't show it. Therefore, I have to go off what this is, not what they are. And saying, oh well, he is a good guitarist, so you have to rate it good even if he just does chords. He can do anything else. Well, no, I have to rate the album and what is presented to me. What is presented to me is complete crap and laziness. If you want a band that is just 3 minutes of the bare bone basic structures with no intricate leads or melodies or anything like that. Something incredibly melodic and cheesy, which is for your young teen years when you were a little baby boy or a little baby girl and you were going through your hormones and you were extremely horny. This band will be for you. That depressed, horny teen years. This band will suit that era for you. There is no intense structure. There is nothing advanced about this band. There's not intricacy going on. It is purely chords. There's the odd occasion where there'll be a lead, but it is so far and few between that I don't give a fuck. The solos, there's the occasion where a solo could be better than the fucking other one, but seeing that they are so bloody fucking awful that just being a slight bit better doesn't mean that it's actually great. There could be a ton of shits right in front of me. And one shit may be better than the other. But I'm still not going to fucking put my hand in it, am I? It is still shit. So, oh Christ. It's amazing how dumb people can be. It really is. And it's frustrating. I hate the metal community. They're so thick. Even look at the fucking album cover. It's a skeleton. Ooh, but he's got this rose above his head because it's romance and it's like, oh, the dead romance and melodrama. Fuck no, fuck me. There's so many ballads in this album. It is unbelievable. And they call themselves metal. The majority of the album, it never gets heavy. The whole thing is a fucking ballad. The heaviest track is as heavy as fucking Paramore, for crying out loud, and it's metal apparently. What is going on? Oh my god. No, there's no structure. There's no heaviness. There's nothing metal. There's no decent melodies or intricacy or layering or fucking huge, vast choruses. They are all exactly the fucking same. I'm skipping through and I'm not getting a different track. I'm getting the fucking same track and all I'm doing is skipping and I'm sick of just skipping. It gets that fucking boring. I was skipping and I got halfway through the album. I was like, God, I want to kill myself. It is really for the simple-minded person who is yet to kind of get into metal. It's a good starting block, I guess, for people who are just about to get into metal and don't want to be thrown in the deep end. Then this is a good starting place. And for young kids and teen girls and everything, it's a very beautiful sounding album because the majority of it's a ballad and melodic and sounds incredibly poppy and girly. So it will suit you. So there is an audience for it, but it is the teen era or someone who is trying to get in from going pop into something a little bit more heavy. This is basically pop with a bit more of a heaviness to it. But there's a long way to go before this becomes fucking metal, a massive amount. So, and that's the audience. Very simple-minded people who can't wrap their head around anything that is actually intricate in the slightest, because it'll be too much for them and their brains will explode. This is beyond simple. My brain melts listening to this. And I'm trying to get all the intricacy, but there's nothing there, so my brain cells are just firing off all cylinders with nothing really coming in to really give it the worth. So I'm just firing bloody brain cells and wasting them. There's no great solos. If you want a great band with great solos and great leads, fuck no, not at all. A good vocalist, as I said, technically yes, but it is very faked and edited with so many effects. So if you want a true voice, then probably not this band. If you don't really give a shit, you just want something that is just catchy no matter fucking what, then yeah, it's for you. But that's it for me. Rating this, it's going to be, fuck me, 0. I can't offer this to anyone. It says it's metal, it's not, it's pop, so they're so wrong. The band is obviously don't know what they're doing. There's no great leads, yet he's supposed to be a great guitarist, so he's being very fucking lazy. The singer is using the exact same things he always does, which is the exact same effects and auto-tune. Try doing something else. If you want to use effects, you know there are other fucking effects you can put on your voice. So, do something new. There is so much you can fucking do. It's not difficult. So, yeah, I do not recommend this to anyone. Even teen girls, I don't know. Well, probably because it is very ballady and girly. But that's it. I'm through with this. And I had to do this review because some guy put out a fucking stupid review which was complete bullshit. So here's a fucking real one, and I'm probably going to get hate, but I don't care. The fact is, this is crap. But if you're into something that's just bloody simple and catchy, then that will be fine for you. But it's not special. Nowhere close. That's it from me. Bye.